All right, now that we have our control rig in place, let's go ahead and animate our character, which we're going to find is a whole lot easier than it was to animate in the first place.
Yes, it was. As a matter of fact, this video is probably going to weigh in at about 2 minutes long.
Well, it could. I don't know, the way I get talking sometimes.
Yeah, that's
true.
So,
as we scrub through, we'll notice that auto stretch is already on, which means we're listening to our set-driven key. So really, a lot of the animation's already done for us.
That part's done.
Yeah, the first, several bounces, the first 3 bounces actually are done. We don't even have to worry about them. So at this point, all we really are animating, this is so funny, the only thing we're animating is this final jump up onto the stool. So what I'm going to do is right here we're at frame 106, I want to switch over from auto stretch to manual stretch. We'll actually do all of the stretching of this last jump ourselves. So what I'm going to do is jump 1 frame right back before we hit the ground here. I'm going to right mouse on the auto stretch attribute. Notice I selected it first, and we'll go to key selected. So I've actually keyed this Boolean value. So now I'm going to go right here to frame 106 where we're on the ground. I'm going to set auto stretch to off, which is 0. I can type really. There we go. So auto stretch is off. Notice our ball loses all of its stretchiness because manual stretch is currently set to 0.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, go ahead and set a key on.
Go ahead and key this.
And then drag through the timeline. You'll see the little stretch. I mean the little snap.
Boing, boing. As soon as we hit the ground, bunk, we're going to lose all of our stretchiness.
It's real subtle, but right there, bink.
There's a little bit of a snap. It was kind of like really what happens is we don't squash at all. We just go back to our original size.
Yeah.
So if you remember, when the ball is on the ground, we are at a value of -0.4. So all we have to do now is come over here to manual stretch, and we'll begin at a value of -0.4, like so. So now, as we drag through, wow, bunk.
Yep.
So we're nice and squashed down.
Very nice.
So let's go ahead and key this value right here at frame 106. So we're keying manual stretch at 0.4, key selected, like so. Now, once we get up into the air, we need manual stretch to be a little higher, so we'll stretch this out maybe up to 0.5, give it a little more than it was before, and I'll hit G to place another keyframe. We'll go right before we impact on the stool, so right here we're impacting at 126, so I'll back up 1 frame, so it looks pretty good, and we will... Actually, let's wait till he gets right on the stool. There we go.
Yeah, we'll take him back to...
Right on the stool. We'll go ahead and
squash.
squash him down to about -0.4, like he needs to be. I'll hit G, and then we'll go for it about 5 frames, give or take, and we'll set this back to 0 to put him back at his natural size, and I will select the attribute and hit G 1 more time. So, boing, boing, stretch, boom. Now, notice, he's still kind of pulling away from the stool.
Yeah, he is.
So really quickly, we can come in and adjust our animation curves. Do not be afraid to adjust animation curves. I'll go ahead and open up the graph editor window, no problem. We have manual stretch, so let's select that, hit F. Notice there's almost no information here. I mean, most of the problem's already taken care of for us. So all I'm going to do is grab our bottommost handle. Let's go ahead and flatten that out. I'm going to break our tangents and free our tangent weights. And we'll just kind of, get the move tool out. So I'll hit the W key to get that. And I'll move this up. And then if I want to, I can break tangents over here on this upper key, like so, free my tangent weights, and just add a little more weight over here. So just a subtle change, but it's going to allow him to kind of hold his stretchiness as he impacts. Boom. Maybe a little more. We could tweak it a little bit further. I don't want to get too picky. Boom. Something kind of like so. Actually, you know what would help is if I could see the ball when I was doing this.
Actually, I don't think it's that bad. I think really it's just the bend right there that might be throwing the visuals off just a tad.
There we go.
I will keep him stretched a little. Yeah, he looks
just
nice.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. And then he comes right back to his original shape.
Looks good.
So that's it. How quick was that? I mean, even I got a little bit picky, and it was still a couple minutes only. So
let's go ahead and bring our set back and everything else. I mean, at this point, we're done with animation, and we're now using an automation rig.
That's right. So we hit play, boom, boom, automatic, manual, boom, we're done.
Yeah.
And at this point, because we're switched over to manual, now that he's up on the stool, so hey, let me go here to the end of my animation, boom. So right about here, we could continue the animation, maybe push it out to another 200 frames. We can select our ball, we can grab manual stretch, and we can make him sit. Well, that's kind of scary. But
wow.
We can make him kind of sing into the microphone, bounce up and down, tell a joke, whatever it is he's here to do for this talent show. Before wrapping this up, there is one more thing I want to handle. It's a very, very quick thing. You'll notice our microphone is a little bit tall. our ball is going to be singing out of a mouth, which is probably going to be located somewhere around here, and so the microphone's way up here over his head, which is kind of scary. This will probably happen a lot while you're working. If you've already got your props set up before you animate, you may need to make minor adjustments like this. So let's go ahead and make a real quick adjustment to our set. All I have to do is unreference my stage props, and there's 150 ways to do this. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to change any of my scale values or anything else that I've already established, I'm going to right-click and grab Control Vertices. And I'm just going to make a marquee selection of a few of these CVs, and I'll pull these down, and maybe I'll grab a few of these, so I'm just reselecting. I'll pull these down a little bit further, just like adjusting a real microphone almost. So we'll pull this down to about here. Notice, in effect, I've just compacted everything. That's all I've done. So now I'm going to go back to component mode. I'm sorry, object mode, thank you. I'll grab my microphone, and we'll pull this down. So we'll grab both of our objects at the same time, pull this down back on top of our microphone stand, and there we go. So now our character's singing right into his microphone. Our scene is all done. We have animated. Everything is looking good. Boing, boing, boing. We can play back the whole thing. We can scrub it. It's just amazing. So with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson. So, thanks a lot.